Ooh, child, I'm giving you a little bit of titties.
Give me your wig. Give me your wig. Give me your wig. You don't know what to do with it. Give me your.
So as usual, we have a whole lot to cover, and you already know that I can't seem to shut my mouth. So we're just gonna have to just immediately hop right into what's going on. Before we do that, make sure you go to patreon.com/AdrianExpression. Just put up on Tuesday the latest episode of the Expression Podcast, which is entitled Revolution Tease. You will definitely want to check it out, especially like I just said, if you can't get enough of me annoying you and running my mouth all in your face. So let's touch on a couple of quick topics. The first thing is that Umbrella Academy is coming back July 31st. So not only are we going to be able to see what Beyonce has in store for us, but you know, we're gonna get to see Klaus and his cult. Apparently he has a cult. We're gonna get to see the king, Klaus. Okay, we already know that he is my favorite character and he should be yours as well. Not sure what's going on with that if that's not the case. But yeah, it's given very much like time travel type of tease, apocalyptic realness. Very interested to see where they're going to take the story. I actually, since we're talking about Netflix, I actually have started the show Dark. So we're gonna see what that gives as well. I've been hearing a lot of people saying that it's good, so cannot wait. You already know I love sci-fi, crazy shit like that. Speaking of sci-fi, fantasy, all of that, J.K. Rowling, she went up there and she said, hey, I'm signing this open letter. And I guess the open letter was about canceling cancel culture. The whole point of the letter was just basically saying if we retaliate in this way against people who are pushing conversations, that it's gonna stifle debate. I'm just like, y'all, first of all, we've said it before, I'm gonna say it again. Cancel culture doesn't really exist, especially not when y'all favorite predators are still working in the music industry, still working in Hollywood. Like, we cannot stop your bag at this point. Y'all are way too rich for that to ever happen, okay? So that's the first thing. The second thing is, what are life and death issues for one particular group, for usually minority groups? Usually it's just a debate or just a conversation to people who are in dominant groups. So I just want everyone to shut the hell up with this whole, debate thing. Like I said before, a political debate is, where do we put a building? How high does it need to be, girl? Do we need to put this street here? But you're not debating with me about my human rights. Like, that's not a debate to me. You're at that point, you're an op, you're an enemy, and you need to sit your ass down. That's it. Not gonna talk too much about Miss Rowling ass. She need to go back, take her ass all the way back to the Sorting Hat. She needs a new place to reside, though. She needs a new house. So many things happened. Another quick topic is, I saw that Don Lemon had Terry Crews up there on CNN. Now, I don't even know, like, before I even react to what happened in the interview, I don't even know why certain people get platforms to say, I mean, I guess I do know ratings, I know, but it's just like, yeah, we're reacting to what happened, but the fact that this man was even invited on anybody's show to talk is very like, okay. But yeah, I thought it was so hilarious because I remembered when years ago, Don Lemon was so disconnected from everything. It was given very much tap dancing tease. We used to be on his ass. Like, we used to drag the shit out of Don Lemon. And now it's so funny to watch him like be visibly annoyed and visibly like, oh my God, Terry Crews, what are you saying? Because Terry Crews was just basically using very old, very tired responses to Black Lives Matter, almost like, so what about black on black crime? You can't blame everything on police. It was just very old stuff that we have already tackled. And you could see that Don Lemon was like, oh, I'm so tired of this shit. But it gave me very much like, you know, if Dan and Dave weren't in charge of Game of Thrones, it gave me very much like Jamie redemption arc, the way that everything came full circle. Like, we were dragging Don Lemon and now he's like correcting Terry Crews on the very foolish things that he was saying on CNN. It's really disappointing to see Terry Crews or anybody with such huge platforms spread such bullshit around. It is highly upsetting, especially when said person is not interested in learning. They can see what their words are doing to a whole group of people and they don't care. So very happy about Don Lemon's growth. I know everyone is growing, but like, to see the complete change in Don Lemon is so, it gives me breath of fresh air. Y'all already know I call myself a fake ass Don Lemon because I think I'm on somebody's news show with my YouTube channel, giving y'all updates, on what happens. So now I can really use that term as freely as I want to. And speaking of news, coronavirus numbers are continuing to rise, though that's not a surprise anywhere. I just thought that, you know, in the face of all that, it was funny to see that this GOP lawmaker, Nino Vitale, I don't know how to pronounce his name, not really that interested in getting it correct. He comes from Ohio, he's in Ohio, and he literally put on his Facebook, he told everybody to stop getting tested, a whole ass lawmaker. Now, I want to bring you some stats from Ohio. They're saying that Ohio has 55,000 goddamn cases. They're also saying that since the pandemic started, 2,700 deaths have happened. Now, this should not be a surprise because this particular lawmaker in May 2020, he tried to introduce a bill to ban all mask requirements. On Facebook, he was saying things like, he was asking people, aren't you tired of living in a dictatorship? This is what he said. This is what happens when people go crazy and get tested. Stop getting tested. It is giving the government an excuse to claim something that is not happening at the magnitude they say it is happening. So not only are we struggling with idiotic leadership in the White House, not only are we struggling with dummies who think that masks are a political issue or something, we have the lawmakers, even at lower levels, pushing everyone to stop getting tested, not wearing masks and shit. This country is a goddamn mess. I think Trump was up there saying, oh, we need to open up these schools, and if not, I'm going to pull the funding. And he listed, I guess besides Sweden, but he listed certain countries that have now their schools reopening. He's saying, why can't we do that? It's just like, sis, compare the numbers. Why are idiots in charge of the government? The only hope I have for politics and the government comes from people like, hopefully I'm getting his name right, Shaman Walton. He comes from San Francisco. He's a San Francisco lawmaker there, like a supervisor there. And he introduced the Karen Act. I thought that shit was so goddamn hilarious. Now, it's Karen spelled with a C and not a K. And it stands for Caution Against Racially Exploitative Non-Emergencies. He said these policies are a part of a larger nationwide movement to address racial biases and implement consequences for weaponizing emergency resources with racist intentions. Basically going after those Karens who like to use 911 as their personal customer service to get the blacks. To get the blacks on out of here. So I just thought that was hilarious. That's the only hope I have for government. And speaking of a Karen, I just wanted to show you this really quickly. Do you know how angry and racist and just emotionally out of whack you have to be painting over in the hot sun, you know what I mean, in the hot summer sun, to be over painting over Black Lives Matter on the street, in the middle of the street? You know how that's a new level of racism. I don't even want to be too much in the sun like that or sweating like that when I'm carrying my groceries from the car to my house. I can't imagine being in the middle of the goddamn hot ass pavement painting over that shit. Like, you really gotta hate the blacks. Like, you know what I mean? That nigga shit, you can't stand it. You really can't. Okay, I'm done. All right, y'all. I know I already did a whole ass live stream on Kanye West, but we have to talk about him again. And the only reason I'm really even paying his ass any attention is because the last time I didn't pay an egomaniac, novice politician, billionaire ass any attention, he won the goddamn election. So we're gonna talk about it. Kanye West went on to this interview, I think it was done with Forbes, and he said some crazy ass shit. Before I get into it, I think that, there has to be some kind of caution when talking about Kanye West, just because we know that he suffers or he's dealing with a whole lot of mental health issues. Who I think is the most evil people in this scenario are the ones who are enabling him. The one, sitting there in the the KKW establishment, it was a slip up, and with the way that family operates, I'm not sure if it was a slip up at all. He's sitting there in their establishment, they're just, empowering him to go out there and sound as foolish as can be. If you have read that Forbes interview with that man, you will know that there is something off. And his fans and these people are over here talking about, oh, well, girl, y'all are just, man, he's not crazy, he's Kanye. No, girl, y'all need to see what's going on. The people around, that's so sad, because he has the resources, he has the people around him that help him get whatever meds or whatever help he needs, and they're just watching him fly off the fucking deep end. It's just like, listen to the type of shit that he's saying, okay? Kanye West said he's running under a new party. So not the Democratic Party, not Independent, not Republican. He said he's running as under the birthday party with Michelle Tidball, and she's some preacher or some shit from Wyoming. She's gonna be his running mate. He said he's running under this new birthday party banner because, this is what he said, because when we win, it's everyone's birthday. He said there's no campaign infrastructure, there's no advisors, there's nothing like that going on within his campaign. The only advisors that he has are Kim Kardashian and Elon Musk in his campaign. He said he doesn't support Trump anymore, but he obviously still likes him because this is one of his quotes. Trump is the closest president we've had in years to allowing God to still be part of the conversation. He also said that I'm not saying Trump's in my way. He may be a part of my way. And Joe Biden, come on, man, please. You know, Obama's special, Trump's special. We say Kanye West is special. America needs special people that lead. Bill Clinton is special. But Joe Biden is not special. He also said that I would run as Republican if Trump wasn't there. He said he's never voted before. These are some of the really crazy shit that he said. He said that we can solve the pandemic with prayer and not a vaccine, which he calls the mark of the beast or something. They want to put chips inside of us. He said Planned Parenthood is a tool of white supremacists to do the work of the devil. And there's this whole paragraph of him talking about, like, just basically saying the country needs to be like Wakanda, more like Wakanda. He's called the Wakanda management model. He said, I'm going to use the framework of Wakanda right now because it's the best explanation of what our design group is going to feel like in the White House. He also said, let's get back to Wakanda, like in the movie in Wakanda, when the king went to visit that lead scientist to have the shoes wrap around her shoes. So, you know, it would be funny if I didn't believe that people would be going out there to vote for him. Like, and of course he was talking about, oh, we need to put God back in the schools, God back in the country, the fear of Sky Daddy. He loves Sky Daddy, and I guess because his imaginary friend is telling him whispering some stuff in his ear, he wants the whole country to run underneath that shit. It doesn't even make sense for me to sit down and filter through all the dumb shit that he has said, all the idiotic, crazy, outlandish shit that he has said, because it's like, this man, obviously something is up. Obviously something is up. Get this man off of these interviews. Get this man off of whatever platform that he thinks he has to run for goddamn president. Get his ass out of there and get him the goddamn help that he needs. We don't need another egomaniac, like I said, narcissist, self-obsessed billionaire holding the country hostage with their horrible ass ideas, fragile ass egos, their imaginary friends that are supposedly sitting on clouds and shit and watching from above. We don't need that bullshit. I'm honestly so mad that there's even a percentage of any population that thinks that what he's saying is anything but ranting gibberish. And I think it's interesting because if these words were coming from anybody else, especially if we're talking about a woman or something, or a black woman or something like that, y'all would be like, this person is nuts, get them out of here. But because it's Kanye and his genius, oh, y'all gotta listen to what he's really saying. Y'all got, like, it's really hard to decipher the fact that this man sounds like he drank a whole bottle of goddamn Patron and now is being given a microphone. Like, you gotta really dig down deep and listen to what he's saying. He might be doing this for some weird art or some reason. Get his ass out of here. Like, y'all make so many excuses for idiocy, and I hate to see it. And lastly, I want us to go ahead and talk about Kodak Black. So if you remember, in April of 2019, everybody was pretty much dragging Kodak for what he had to say about Lauren London after she lost Nipsey. If you don't remember, this is kind of some of the things that he said. Lauren London's that baby doll. She finna be a whole widow out here. I'll be the best man I can be for her. I'll give her a whole year. She might need a whole year to be crying and shit for him. So everyone was pissed off, and some people had a grasp on this situation where it's just like, can you leave her alone? And other people were approaching it from the fact that, oh, that's Nipsey's girl. That's Nipsey's girl. How could you say that about Nipsey's girl? And we kind of already knew where that mentality came from, right? So to even make things that much worse, here comes Kodak a year later, basically, a little over a year later, apologizing, saying, okay, I mean, he put up a whole picture, not of Lauren London, the person that he said some weird shit to and about. He put up a whole picture of Nipsey on his Instagram, and he said, well, some of the things that he said, because I'm not reading that whole fake ass poem. He said, willing to accept when I'm wrong and stand firm when I'm right. Sometimes a man says things he really doesn't mean, but on some Z shit, I never meant to disrespect your queen. He's talking to dead ass Nipsey. homie, I was really respecting your scene. So, yeah, I just bring it up as a quick point to be like, it is crazy how misogynist men are to the point where they won't even apologize to the living and breathing woman that's standing right there. But they have to make a whole post to a dead man about the person that they used to be with. You see what I'm saying? Like, you can't even bring yourself to apologize, like, to the woman, to the person who's alive, to the woman. And that just shows how much a lot of people see Lauren London, a lot of men see Lauren London as still as Nipsey's property. Still. You know, that's how they see so many women in their lives. That's how they see women, period, is that they're somebody else's property, that they're man's property, right? I think the reason why this is very concerning to me is that I think if or when Lauren, and I said this on Twitter, if or when Lauren decides to date again or decides to marry somebody else, they are going to drag the shit out of her. And like, maybe some people see these men trying to protect Lauren as like pure and good, but when you look underneath that shit, they're doing it because they want to protect Nipsey. They don't want to protect her. They want to protect Nipsey's property. They don't want to protect who she actually is. So I just think that she's going to have to deal with a lot of bullshit. I mean, she already has, but like, she's gonna have to deal with a whole lot of bullshit if she ever decides that she wants to move on and date, or you know what I mean? Because they're going to view it as almost like a betrayal of Nipsey. It's like, sis, he is 6 feet under. Y'all have got to let this shit go. But yeah, I think I'm done running my mouth. Make sure you check out my Patreon at patreon.com/AdrianExpression. Thank you all so much for watching, and make sure that you have a good goddamn evening.